Today we're talking about people who play the victim and make you the villain because you've set clear boundaries just for them. I need everyone to like and share this video. If you find value here, consider subscribing. I'm Cassandra Mack, founder of strategiesfoремpoweredliving.com and CassandраMackMinistries.com. For more information, you'll find the links in the video description box. Let's jump right in. Have you ever been in the situation, and put a 1 in the comment section if you have, where you had to set a clear boundary with someone? It could be around your money, your time, favors, whatever the issue was, and they caught an attitude based on your boundaries, and when they spin the story to everybody else, they made you to be the villain. And the reality of the story is, the reality of the situation is that you had to put the boundary in place because they had no clear understanding of boundaries. This could be somebody who's extremely narcissistic and manipulative, and you put some distance there, and they're going around telling people, well, I call her all the time and, she never picks up the phone, or I call him all the time, he never picks up the phone. And the reason you don't pick up the phone is because you don't want to be manipulated. Or you find out that they're gossiping about you, trash talking you behind your back, throwing mud on your name. And you were like, I have had enough. I got to pray for you from a distance, but I can't be around that negative energy dragging my spirit down. And when they tell other people, well, I always call her. She never has time for me, or he never has time for me. And it's not that you don't have time, but you don't have time to sit and listen to gossip. You don't have time to have somebody say things to you to beat down your confidence and your self-esteem. You don't have time for foolishness when you've got priorities and you've got things you want to do, and you want to do things that lift you up and build you up and not break you down. Or maybe it's a person who you've lent money to, on more than one occasion, and they tell you they're going to pay you back. They don't pay you back, and you gave them a firm no. You're like, no, I have my own bills I have to pay, and I can't keep going in my pocket for you. And now they're going around telling everybody you won't help them. You left them in the dust when you have helped them on several occasions. But because you've now set a boundary around your money, you suddenly the villain, and they are the victim. And you're like, how you the victim, and you owe me money for the several times that I have loaned you money, and you trash talking me because I set a boundary? Are you kidding me? Like, what's wrong with you? And so sometimes you will find yourself racking your brain trying to understand human nature, right? Of some people, when you have been good to an individual, and much to your chagrin, they behaved in a way that just didn't sit well with you. And you were like, you know what? I don't want to be around this. I don't want to be around somebody that's constantly dragging me down. It's my life. I have a right to choose whom I want to spend time with. Like, that's my right as a human being. I am not put on earth to be somebody's emotional punching bag or psychological toilet bowl. I am not a roach. I am not a dirty sock with a hole in it. I am a human being. And as such, I have my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own life to live, and my own purpose. But sometimes when you are around people who are manipulative, when you're around people who are self-absorbed, when you're around people who are me, when you're around people who can't have their way and they catch your attitude because you finally are like, I had enough of you. I had enough of the foolishness, enough of the drama, enough of the antics. No. And now you the villain. You're the villain. And you got other people calling you. Might even be other family members. Could be other friends who know both of you, who are calling you, well, why did you do so and so? And when you hear the story back to you, like, that's not even how it went down. Like, yo, this person really has an active imagination. You and I both know that that is not what happened. You and I both know that there are several times that I've loaned you money. There are several times that I ... and you can fill in the blanks. And the one time I say no, you're going to catch an attitude and make me a monster? Like, yo. And so what happens is, it is really difficult to digest, right? When somebody makes you the villain because you have put some boundaries in place. So perhaps you are raising young children, you have a family of your own, and you have a neighbor who would constantly come over And, maybe 7 o'clock is dinner time. I'm just going to throw out an example. You can insert your own. But 7 o'clock is dinner time. And that is the time when you are catching up with your children, your spouse. You're finding out how their day went. And that's really important family time. Maybe you all pray together, whatever it is, whatever your thing is that you do, during family time. And you had a particular neighbor that every single day, at that particular time, they come over and you were like, you had to set some boundaries, be like, listen, we can get together on this day, but 7 o'clock is family time. And, I'm going to focus on, family, but, we can hang out this day at this time, if your schedule permits. That's what you said. But by the time you hear the story from everybody on the block, it's like, why you did her like that? Why you told her she could never come to your house no more and you can't stand her? And you're like, how? I did not say that. She knows I didn't say it. I know I didn't say it. And if my kids were in the background, they heard the conversation when I went to the door, and they know I didn't say it. And so understand that some people, when you set a clear boundary, they will internalize the boundary as personal rejection, run with it in their mind, let their mind run away with them, create a story that didn't even happen, and will vilify you. When that happens, don't get caught up in a ping pong match of emotional warfare. Don't get caught up in a ping pong match of passive aggressive tactics where you're going back and forth. Don't waste your time. Because people by their fruit. You'll hear me say this all the time. We know people by their fruit. So once this individual shows you the fruit of ingratitude, the fruit of manipulation by way of lying about what really happened, the fruit of deception, once they show you that fruit, what is there to argue about? What is there to argue about? You know what it is. And so now that you know what it is, you can say to yourself, I made the right decision. That is confirmation that I should have set the boundary a long time ago. That's confirmation. So thank God that I finally listened to my instincts, intuition, and my discernment to set a boundary with this individual. Thank goodness. And so don't let people who try to vilify you for setting a boundary in whatever area you've set a boundary make you believe that you are this horrible person, because enough is enough. Enough is enough. It might even be a family member who you've distanced yourself from because they're draining the life out of you. And you're like, enough is enough. And so I want to share scripture in case they are guilt tripping you or other people who have heard the imaginative version of the story. They don't know the real story. They heard the spinoff, the imaginative version of the story. You're like, it didn't even go down like that. And so they think that you are this horrible person because this individual got out in front of the story before you did. Don't let that sway your decision to stick by your boundary and your commitment to your peace. Don't let other people's opinions, because opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one. Don't let everybody's opinion sway your commitment to your peace of mind, your commitment to your personal priorities, whatever they may be, your commitment to your values, and your decision to stick to your boundary concerning the person who wants to vilify you because you are clear that I've had enough. There's some people you're like, I had enough. This is a job for Jesus. I have had enough. And if you don't know about my job for Jesus list, make sure to check out the video. Some people are a job for Jesus. So I want to share a scripture with you that really drives the point home. And it's Titus chapter 3, verse 10. Titus chapter 3, verse 10. And it says, as for a person who stirs up division, after warning him once and then twice, have nothing more to do with him. And so this scripture speaks to a person who stirs up division among people of faith, who stirs up division. But in the broader sense, right, when you're dealing with a person who stirs up division within your mental health, like you have no peace because they're draining you, they're stirring up division in your emotional ability because you're anxious whenever you're around them, because you're like, gosh, they're always in my pockets and enough is enough. And they're stirring up division in that way. And you've had a conversation like, listen, I am not a walking ATM. Or listen, we need to do A, B, and C. Or listen, I can't have company over every single day. I've got children and I have to go over their homework, or whatever the thing is that you do. You know, you're going to talk in the way that you talk, but you get the point I'm making, right? And so after you have been very clear in a kind, compassionate way, but clear. After you've been clear, you've warned them once, you've had a conversation twice about it. You're like, you know what? This is it. I'm tired. Sometimes I'm not angry. And a lot of people will confuse tired with angry. No, I'm not angry with you. I'm not mad at you. I pray God's blessing over your life. I pray the best for you, the absolute best for you. I pray that you reach your goals and your dreams. I pray that you live a life that feels meaningful. I pray that your children are blessed. I pray that you find your happy place. But honey, I'm tired. And a lot of people will confuse tired with angry. No, I don't hate you. I'm not angry with you. I don't wish harm on you. I don't wish no harm on you. I wish God's blessing. You are on my prayer list. But for my own peace of mind, psychological well-being, and emotional balance, I need some space. This ain't about anger. It's about tired. You ever been really tired? You're like, I'm tired. And so understand that some people will make you the villain of the story because you've set a boundary. And usually when they're doing that, it is for two reasons. Number one, so that they can evade responsibility. They can evade accountability. As long as I can make you the bad guy for saying no and putting a boundary around your time, your money, whatever the thing is that you put a boundary around, the favor, whatever it is, then I don't have to look at the role that I play. So if I'm a super needy person and I never give you room to breathe, I don't have to explore that. I don't have to assess that. If I'm irresponsible with my finances and I'm always in your pockets, I don't have to look at my financial decisions as long as I'm focusing on what a horrible person you are. And so it allows the individual to evade accountability and not have to be self-aware and really look at where are the aspects in my life where I need to make a change, where I need to really hunker down and figure out how to do things a little differently so that I can live my life in a way that allows me to flourish. What are the things that I need to do so that I can begin to have a relationship with myself and I'm not so dependent on people? You know, there are some people who can't sit alone in their own thoughts for more than 5 minutes. They always have to be busy, involved in activities. And so it allows the individual to not have to look within, right? And so that's one of the reasons why. Number two, it allows the individual to manage their reputation. So as long as they can get out in front of the story before you do and paint you as the villain to all the people that you know mutually, then it allows them to have clean hands, so to speak, because they have painted you the villain, so they get to be the victim, and then other people will sympathize with them, and then they can move on to their next victim. Because an individual doesn't really know the true story because they know the story that that individual told them. And so it provides an opportunity for them to do it to somebody else. And don't let people game you. One of the things we constantly talk about here at CassandраMackMinistries.com is the importance of not being deceived. The Bible talks about do not be deceived. And it talks about not being deceived in lots of ways. Do not be deceived with empty words. Do not be deceived. God will not be mocked. I mean, I can go on and on. And so we talk about the importance of not being naive, because being a believer does not mean that we're walking through this world with rose-colored glasses, tiptoe through the tulips. No, we know that it's real. It's real life. It's real out here. And by really sitting down and saying, you know what? I'm not mad at this person. I don't hate this person. I wish the best for them, but I'm just tired. And because I need to make sure that I am taking care of my mind, my emotions, and my physical well-being, since I only get one physical body while I am on earth in this form, I got to make sure that I'm taking care of me. I need to be around for the things that I need to do. If I'm a parent, I need to be around for my children. I need to be around for the people who love me. I need to be around for my purpose. Even if you don't have kids, I need to be around for my purpose. Whatever God put me on this earth to do, I need to fulfill my purpose. I need to walk in destiny and purpose. And my purpose is not jumping through hoops for an individual who doesn't even appreciate me and who will bleed me dry if I let them. God didn't put me on earth for that. And so be very clear about that, and do not allow people to guilt trip you into backpedaling on your boundaries. You have a right to preserve your peace. You have a right to protect your mental health. You have a right to be guarded about what's important to you. The Bible even says to guard your heart, for the issues of your life flow from it. Your heart represents all the things that are sacred to you. Your heart represents your emotional life. Your heart represents all the things that are important to you, the areas where you're vulnerable. And so I hope that this helped you, for those who are in a situation where someone has made you out to be the villain because you've set a clear boundary, and you had to set the boundary just for them, Like normally, I don't mind lending people a few dollars, but when it comes to you, I had to set the boundary. Or normally, I don't mind ... But when it comes to you, because you're getting out of control with this. So understand that it is okay to have boundaries, and do not allow people to guilt trip you or make you backpedal around your boundaries, because they want to spin the narrative in a way that enables them to evade looking within, to evade accountability, and to be able to manage their reputation so that they can be deceptive about what really happened between the two of you. So I hope you found it helpful. So I want to thank today's sponsor. Today's video was being sponsored by BetterHelp. So BetterHelp provides therapy online. So if you are in a space where you would like to seek out professional therapy, maybe there are some things that you want to work out. Maybe you want to learn some coping skills, or whatever the things are that you feel that you would like to really go to a place where you can mentally unpack about some things. BetterHelp offers professional therapy done online. BetterHelp makes it easy for you to switch therapists if your first therapist, for whatever reason, is not the right match. They make it easy for you to switch therapists. A lot of you ask, do they offer Christian therapy as well? There's an array of services. So when you go on the BetterHelp website, I'm going to give you a link in a moment, you will see that they offer Christian therapy in addition to other things. So you'll see that on the website. So I want to give you the link so that you have that information. With this link, you will be offered a discount. So the link is betterhelp.com/Cassandra. That's BetterHelp, spelled HELP.com/Cassandra. And again, thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. So I want to also let you know that about channel membership. So become a member of the YouTube channel. You can access our Church by Phone replays. To come to the live Church by Phone service, it's always free, always available to the public. But if you want to access the recordings afterwards, that is available by becoming a member of the Cassandra Mack YouTube channel. And there are also additional deep dive content and other perks that come with membership. There are 3 levels of membership. So when you click on the join button, you'll see the offerings for each level of membership, and you'll be able to make your choice. I want to make sure that you know about that. So the other piece is we have a new book in our Simple Prayer series, and it is Simple Prayers to Pray to Tame Your Inner Critic and win the battle in your mind. So often we can be our own worst critics, and we can say things to ourselves that we wouldn't dare say aloud to somebody else. And it is important to have the type of internal narrative that is in alignment with who God says we are. It is important to speak to ourselves in a way that builds us up, that doesn't throw away our confidence, in a way that really honors the fact that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. But sometimes we can get down on ourselves based on the things that happen to us throughout the day. Sometimes we can beat up on ourselves. Sometimes we have a rough day, a bad day, and we're like, gosh, I'm so stupid. Boy, I'm so this, I'm so that. And that's not really healthy. And so what this book offers you is simple Bible-based prayer. So each prayer starts with a scripture relative to the prayer point. So it offers simple Bible-based prayers that can be said in about 1 minute or less, that you can have right at your fingertips to start you on your way, so that you can begin to develop a prayer life that is consistent with who God says we are. It also enables you to pray scripture and really begin to win the battle in your mind, because, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And so when we really understand that it's spiritual, right? And a lot of times what happens is, in our own mind, there's a spiritual battle going on. And it's like the enemy is battling for our confidence, battling for our courage, battling for our self-esteem. Sometimes just to get out of bed is a battle, depending on what you're going through and where you are in your life's journey. And so the book will really begin to help you develop the type of inner narrative that allows you to build up your confidence. This is a great book for teenagers. If you have teens that tend to put themselves down, maybe you have teenage children, teenage grandchildren, teenage nieces and nephews, or young adults, we don't learn these skills when we are in middle and elementary school, right? We learn the reading, the writing, and all of that, but we don't always learn about self-esteem building things, confidence building things. And so I would really encourage you, get the book for yourself and get it for someone who can use and uplift. Again, that's Simple Prayers to Pray when you I'm sorry. It's Simple Prayers to Pray to Tame Your Inner Critic and Win the Battle in Your Mind. The other book was Simple Prayers to Pray When You Don't Know What to Say. So there's a whole Simple Prayer series, and I've written those Simple Prayer books because we have so many people who are connected to Cassandra Mack Ministries who are new to the faith, who are just exploring their faith. And we want to make sure that in addition to the Bible, right, the Bible is your foundation, but in addition to the Bible, that you have other tools at your fingertips. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be blessed, and remember to be a blessing wherever you go.